In these videos, I'm sharing more about my art and the different facets of my creativity. Skulls, but plenty of other subject matter, with collaging central to my work, not for their morbidity, but for what they represent: the mind, intelligence, life, and death, and ultimately, transformation. They hold symbolic weight and visual power. I treat them as a kind of visual shorthand for consciousness itself. I like realism, portraits, and flowers, and cars. At the other end of the spectrum is hard-edged abstraction. I love working with straight lines and pure fields of color because they allow me to strip things down to their essence. In these pieces, color becomes the subject. This approach is all about minimalism, about letting color speak without interference. No form, just energy. Collage is foundational to my process. It lets me embrace absurdity and juxtaposition, pulling things out of their original context and placing them into new relationships. That disorientation becomes a tool. Where Duchamp downplayed the visual in favor of idea, I use context shifts to intensify the visual. A soldier next to a pin-up model. A schoolgirl against the schematic of a battleship. It's a kind of visual poetry made out of contradiction. Harmony and contrast play against each other throughout my work. I often like to pit them in direct opposition, like a duel. But contrast doesn't negate harmony. Sometimes, through repetition and rhythm, even dissonance creates its own kind of harmony. Intuition guides these choices more than logic. I'm not trying to resolve the tension. I want to sustain it. I also explore the tension between flatness and depth. Some pieces are intentionally two-dimensional, playing with perception and surface. Others go in the opposite direction, using acrylics, epoxy resin, or layers of collage to create literal, physical depth. Transparent and opaque materials interact like a conversation. There's something alchemical about that, about how materials themselves can change what the eye perceives. My goal isn't to answer questions, but to invite them. The images themselves matter. The visual moment matters. Like a flash of light, here and gone.